Thank you so much for joining us tonight. And this is my new friend, Kenneth Mejia, who is a 26-year-old activist and organizer. So welcome, Kenneth. Thank you so much for being with us tonight.
Thank you for having me, Jill. Hello, everybody.
All right. I would love, Kenneth, just to kick us off, for you to say a little bit about your background. So tell us a little bit about where you're coming from and how you come to be running for Congress in a special election, I should add.
Hello, everyone. My name is Kenneth Mejia, and I am running for Congress here in California's 34th Congressional District, which is here in Los Angeles. So I am 26 years old. I was born and raised, LA County, and by a single mother who immigrated from the Philippines. And basically, she instilled education to me and my three siblings, working hard to take care of us. And because of that hard work and that sacrifice, I sort of took that with me, and I graduated college in 2.5 years when I was a month after my 20th birthday with a Bachelor's of Science in Accounting. From there, I worked for one of the top Big Four accounting firms as an auditor, and from there I received my certified public accounting license when I was 22, so I could practice public accounting in the state of California. And then sort of from there, I joined into the private sector and worked for one of the largest alternative investment firms, and I got to see firsthand, how lucrative the business is over there. And then something happened. I got involved in the political process. There was a man named Bernie Sanders who inspired me to get involved. I remember on Facebook watching some videos that my friend shared, and it showed Bernie Sanders talking about, helping the poor, helping immigrants, undocumented immigrants, people of color, single mothers, the LGBTQ community, people I saw growing up and that I cared about. And I never saw that in a politician. And that sort of changed my life. And I sort of had this awakening that, I got to get involved. If I could see this man, 74-year-old man, talk about the change we need, then I think I could do that too. And so I quit my job at the investment firm when I was 25, and then I ran for Congress last year in the Democratic primary, and I campaigned for 2 months, and we received 1,177 write-in votes, which is pretty good for 2 months. People actually had to write your name in and know what you're fighting for. And so that's sort of how I got involved in the political process. And since then, we've been out there rallying, we've out there doing, being an activist and sort of engaging the communities in LA and getting people to get involved in the political process. Because what we realize is that if we don't get involved in the political process, people will make decisions for you, and those decisions might not be good for the community. And so that's sort of what I've been doing since I got involved last year, to get people educated on the issues like police brutality or immigration or gentrification, or just resisting Trump. We've been doing that. We've also been helping those living on the streets of Skid Row every month, and doing community cleanups and also raising funds for those who are losing their homes through gentrification. And so I decided that once I saw Bernie sort of get shafted from the DNC and the Democrats, I was like, all right, well, nothing's happening. No one's talking about it. No one got punished. And so I decided to dem exit, and I don't regret it. I tried to give the Democrats a chance, and they just threw everything back at us. And they said, you know what, forget you guys. So I said, forget you then. So I went green. And I'm proud to go green, and I'm very lucky that we had an amazing human being, an amazing woman, Jill Stein, give us that option that we needed, because like many, we were going to fall back into this sort of disenfranchisement or become disaffected once again. And once I saw Jill Stein and sort of the Green Party and what they're fighting for, I realized this is what Bernie was fighting for. This is what we should be fighting for. This is what we need. And so I went green. I'm proud about it. We're more progressive than I think any other party, two of the two major parties, and we're not afraid, and we're not we're not hold down by any corporate donors or special interests. And I think that's what's special. And this is the time to go green. And I decided to go green. And last month they announced that there's an election, and so I did it. I went green, and now we're running in only congressional race. So hopefully we can make history.
There aren't a whole lot of millennials out there running for Congress. And there are a whole lot of millennials out there feeling incredibly disenfranchised, feeling like you're getting the short end of the stick on jobs, on wages, on the housing that's not there for you. I think it's something like 40% of millennials that cannot live independently because the housing is too expensive and because the dollars aren't there for the jobs. On the climate crisis that's falling on your heads, on the costs of these endless wars that are devouring over half of our discretionary budget and almost half of your income taxes. Young people are getting the short end of the stick here. For me, it was like the most compelling thing to talk to millennials who deserve to be running the show right now, who have the numbers, who have the energy, this kind of stage of life vitality to be out there and kind of taking charge, but have been locked out systematically. And by the way, if you're out there, you can join this campaign. You can sign up to volunteer. You can go to the website and contribute. And it is
Mejia for Congress, the number.
Oh, I'm so sorry. MejiaForCongress.com. Yeah. And MEJIA.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, great.
Yeah, for Congress. Yep.
For Congress. Great.
I think, being a millennial myself and sort of coming from that disaffected, disenfranchised youth who thought that everything was corrupt and the government never served us. I mean, it still does, but I think our campaign heavily relates well with our, our fellow youth. And like you said, we're entering into a phase where, the cost of living will be higher than our parents. We're entering into a phase where people can't get health insurance, where living costs are off the charts. In LA, you can't afford a place to live. You can't afford a place to buy a home. We're entering into a state of where our environment and our planet is getting, hotter and hotter because we're exploiting, fossil fuels and we're also fighting these wars that might escalate, especially with what's been going on lately, not only with Donald Trump, but, what's been happening the last 8 years. And one big thing is the education component. A lot of kids are still in student debt. A lot of them are going to college and they can't find jobs in an economy, or at least find a job that pays well. And, like you said, people are in $1.3 trillion in debt, and it's crazy how that's the possibility right now. So I think a lot of people are waking up, and I think that's what you and Bernie have done. You both of you have brought out the millennials to come out. What we're fighting for is bigger than ourselves, and they realize this is the time to stand up, and no one has ever seen that. And so the millennials are out here at full force.
Christine Robinette says, what an amazing journey. Yeah. And then Efren Moreno Jr. says, if you live out of state or out of LA, you can help by phone banking. Like Kenneth's page and get more details. And then Efren gives your Facebook page, facebook.com, Kenneth Mejia for Congress. Is that correct?
Yeah, and that one's not the number 4. It's FOR, actually.
Okay, great.
In Los Angeles County, our district was the only county that Bernie Sanders actually won. And we actually had a large amount of voters for Jill Stein as well. So it goes to show that the people in our district are ready for that change. And mind you that Bernie is not really a Democrat. He's an independent. He's a socialist. And he brought people out. And from people we've spoken to in the past, 2 months, they're ready. And half of the district is Democrats and half is independents. So we're really connecting with the issues and exposing. So
awesome.
Right. So the 34th Congressional District, our Congressman Javier Becerra has become the California Attorney General. So there is an open congressional seat. It's the only one happening in the nation that I know of, and it's on April 4th, Tuesday.
Are you running for U.S. or California Congress.
We're running for the United States Congress.
And you would probably be the youngest member there now. Is that fair to say? I don't
Correct.
know any 20-year-olds currently in Congress. I think the average age of Congress is
like
got to be up there in the 70s.
50, I think. Oh, yeah.
Right. Because Congress doesn't turn over. Once you're in, you're there. I think the turnover rate is something like 2%. So we need to get some fresh blood into Congress.
So our revolution is considering endorsing 4 candidates out of the 20 that we saw, and our name is there, and we're green. So that's amazing. So the fact that they see the change that we could bring, that's what we're doing. So if you go on our website or Facebook, you could find the survey and recommend us. So right now it's still in the recommendation process on who to endorse for the 34th Congressional.
So this is a great time for people to weigh in, right? Because anybody can fill out that questionnaire. Is that correct?
Yeah, exactly.
And everybody listening out there, if everybody goes to that questionnaire, we could see Kenneth kind of emerging as a favorite, and that would be really exciting. So
Really?
Everybody go to Kenneth's webpage, and again, it's Mejia, #4 Congress.com, and fill out that questionnaire. Specifically, we need to know, finally, that there is no reason to try to reform the Democratic Party, as this has been attempted already for 30 years. We'd love to hear your views. Thank you. Do you want to speak to that?
Right. So, I mean, there's a reason why I left the Democratic Party. They literally shut down Bernie Sanders, who was fighting for the change we needed. Just 2 weeks ago, 13 Democratic senators voted no on lowering prescription drugs. And then you also have Democratic senators voting in Trump's cabinet picks, and we're all preaching about we got to resist and stop, but yet we're sort of enabling it. I don't think there's really any way you could fix it.
What advice would you give to other young Greens who want to run for office but have zero political experience?
Right. So young Greens, if there's something in your heart or you're passionate about, whether you see someone struggling on the streets or someone struggling to pay rent or pay their health insurance, fight for those issues, because I swear it's not about a candidate knowing so much about the policy, but rather the movement you bring with you. Because, what I tell people is, it's not about us. If we could have millions of people standing up together and demanding the change we need, and it's something you're passionate about and millions of others are passionate about, they're going to be behind you. And that's the sort of reason why they made 25 the minimum age to run for Congress, because you're only one out of 535 people. And they know that you alone don't make all the decisions. That's why it's cooperative. It's a team effort. And, you young Greens, you who are registered Greens, you're doing the right thing. And don't be afraid. And what I've talking to people who've been in politics, who work for a congressman or the governor, they said you have advisors. And as long as you have that drive, you're going to find it. And, don't be afraid. I think right now, young Greens, we need to step up, not just the Greens, but young people in general. And like Bernie Sanders and Jill said, anyone should be able to run. And sort of, don't give up. Just do it. I'm doing it. It's my second time running.
What are your top 3 issues that you hope to change?
Right. So one of our 3 top issues we hope to change is, number 1, we want to make sure we have an economy that works for all of us, not just the 1%, because I believe that if we could fix the economy to make it work for everybody, you could sort of tackle a lot of other issues like crime, poverty, not having money for health insurance or whatnot. So the economy is a big one. Number 2 is education. I think we really need to revamp that. We need to have tuition-free public college and university. And we also got to take care of, pre-K as well, those younger than 4. And we also need to cancel student debt. And that's big. And the third one would be immigration. We need humane immigration reform. As you know, under both Democratic and Republican leadership, a lot has been going on. Under the Democratic leadership, Obama deported, 3 million people. And right now, during Trump's administration, there's so much going on with the ban. Those are the 3: economy, education, and immigration.
This is the time for us to stand up and really break through. And, it's time to break through the stranglehold on power, and having a special election is really a gift right now, as people are totally freaking out at what, the fascism that Donald Trump is bringing to our nation, our world, our communities, the violence, the racism, the xenophobia. We need to resist, but we also need to take power. So that's the
Exactly.
really exciting thing about this race. So get involved, please. How do we steer clear of Democrats trying to lure everyone back into their party? There are still people who believe that the Democratic Party can be reformed and be fixed, but it looks like they're just not listening to everyday people.
I would add, to our friends, a lot of them are still part of the Democratic Party. And to those who are part of the Democratic Party who are watching, support outside parties like the Green Party, because if anything, we're going to push people to the left more, and we're going to be there for you when the Democratic Party, screws you over again, if that happens. And I think that that's important to know, that when we talk about the Democratic Party, that we're not talking about you personally. So that's what we've been seeing a lot of the bashing when we talk about the party. Don't take personal offense to it. We're talking about your leadership, its roots. It's neoliberal policies that are destroying this country. So, don't take it personally. Into the Greens, keep fighting our fight, and we'll be okay. So,
Kenneth, I'm from Washington State, and I'm an Army veteran. I support you. I will be sending you $27 and making another music video. Wow, that's really cool. Canelo Gonzalez says, I'm signing up to help you. Nick Tarani says, how do we deal with gentrification in the 34th district? Also, thank you for marching against the ban from an Iranian American. Great. Speak to that issue of gentrification, because it's really happening all over, especially in communities of color,
right.
Communities.
I'd say that is like the biggest issue that we've been I hear from people in this district. What you do is you have a lot of large developers coming in and building these new apartment complexes and retail places. And then you have city council who are like all Democrats basically approving it. And then you also see them receiving hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars, and you sort of make that connection. And so, what we got to do to sort of stop gentrification is we got to attend all these elected officials meetings. We got to make our voices heard. One of the things that's unfair for these is that they do these meetings during the daytime and you can't attend it. So we got to find a way. We got to basically inform our communities of the eviction laws, Ellis laws and whatnot, because right now they're doing cash for keys and tricking people. So I think the number one thing we could do is be at our representatives, be in their face, go in their meetings. Number two, educate each other. This is where we resist, and we tell our other, Los Angelinos in the community that, these are your rights, and we gotta stick together. And so I would say those are like what we could do in the immediate time. And then vote them out, vote those people out, and then put someone in, from some city council who could actually fight that. So
our last Congressman Becerra was a super delegate and voted for Hillary, even though his district was for Bernie. That turned a lot of us off to the Democratic Party. Got any thoughts about that?
And that right there is another reason why I left the Democratic Party, because you could win a whole district and your superdelegate will go against you. And it just goes to show that democracy is not in the Democratic Party. And, Becerra, we went to him, we told him, and he's like, I think Hillary Clinton's the best. And now look where we are, we're with Trump. So, Becerra, you made a mistake, man.
We're out of time,
Exactly.
We are out of time, folks. The climate is crashing. The economy is not moving forward. It's, there are 8 billionaires who now have the wealth of half of the world's population. Last year, it was 64 billionaires. That tells you how much more wealth is being more and more concentrated. They are not fixing it. Even when Obama had 2 houses of Congress, what did they do? They bailed out Wall Street. They brought in, they brought in the architect of the Wall Street meltdown and made him the head of the Treasury. They're not fixing this. It was a Goldman Sachs White House, just like under Donald Trump. 6 of his nominees, he who was going to drain the swamp, has just flooded the swamp.
Right.
The parties aren't going to fix it. It's time. It's time for us. Steve Wolfbrandt says, contact our revolution, urge them to endorse this campaign. And Onel Manuel Martinez says, How can people volunteer to help you? Tell people again.
So this is the most important part. If we remember, we only have one congressional race, U.S. congressional race going on in the country. And this is where all Greens, all Jill supporters, all Burners, all progressive, all revolutionaries, all hands on deck. So right now, if you live out of LA, out of state, we need you phone banking right now. So you could sign up at mejiaforcongress.com/volunteer. And if you live in LA, we need you knocking on doors and go to the same website. And give us, if you could donate to our campaign, that would help us a lot, because what we're seeing is the establishment candidates, they have raised over $500,000, and they're going to send out mailers, and they're going to hire a team, and they are sending out text messages. So they got a team of people, but we have real people, who are doing it for free, because this is bigger than ourselves. So mejiaforcongress.com/volunteer.
Great. All right, terrific. And just to remind people, the special election is on April 4th. It's Mejia 4, that's the number 4, congress.com. And again, everybody throw in what you can. If it's $5, throw it in. If it's 27, anything. The average, do it, And if everybody on the call sent in $27, that'd be a really good starter pack. Yeah. So close us out, Kenneth.
What we're doing is something that's unprecedented, something that's never been done before, but we also have a huge opportunity to sort of make history here and break the two-party system, and we hope that the Green Party can be the party for you. And if you're in LA in District 34, know that it's an open election, and you don't have to be a Green Party member to vote for me. Anyone could vote for me if you're in the district. I truly believe that if we fight together as a team, we can build a movement that can go beyond electoral politics. And that's what we've seen with the civil rights movement, the women's rights movement. This is the time for that political movement that we need to have, and I believe it's here with the Green Party. And so that's sort of who I am and why I'm running. And I hope you guys reach out. Please volunteer. We really need your help. We have 63 days left. So if you could phone bank at least 1 hour a day for the next 2 months, that's going to help us win. And if you could donate right now, we put $26 for since that's how old I am, that'll really help and go a long way. So please help us out. We need you, all hands on deck. So, and thank you, Jill, for giving me this opportunity and letting me use your platform as well.
Great. And I hope we can have you on, often over these next 60 some days, so that you can get the word out, because there are a lot of people right now who are really hurting for a breakthrough. And if we all just put a little bit of energy into this, an hour a day, right, this could be that breakthrough. It absolutely could. We need a politics of integrity that's of, by, and for the people. This is the perfect storm, and this is the perfect moment, the perfect election, and the perfect candidate we got right here with Kevin Mejia. Go to his website, contribute right now, and I'll see you out there on the campaign trail. Thanks so much, Kenneth.
All right. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Jill. Go Green.
Go Green.